Okay. We are about to get started, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I am seeing some people start to roll in here now, and we will be get going. We'll be getting going. So, okay. So, let me clear the screen. I'm still not great at this. Done this so much now, and still not great. Okay. So, what are we looking at here? We are looking at NVIDIA here, thinking about this 105 range. This is part of where we're looking at um, a potential pullback in this range. I was looking at that 106.60 area, which we're below that now, but not by much. This was that initial breakout from the pullback where we were at, and it really it really has a consolidation range that I've highlighted here in green. We could watch this maybe swipe its low down here at around this 104, 103.42 area. But if we do see this consolidation range act as a floor, I will be interested in that as a potential bounce zone. But you got to watch when we're in these big moves like NVIDIA is having. It's a pretty good idea to watch the at least the 15 to 30 minute 20 volume weighted 20 moving average or the EMA, something with more relevant, that favors the front side or the most recent price action. And with that being said, we've taken out some zones that I felt like were probably our highest potential of a reversal, and I thought specifically yesterday. So you can see this is kind of the same setup right here, right? We had the breakout here, we had a consolidation range, and I was kind of watching this zone to be a breakout. Once we took this out, I thought maybe we would try to find that balance, but now we're pretty deep from our moving average. I've always talked about this. Strength or weakness is, for me, is gauged in the gap between the moving averages, and this is showing some extreme weakness here. But we are at a level where I think we could bounce. Okay, so watch for this thing to maybe find some legs, maybe retest this 110 zone to 112. I think it's definitely possible for Nvidia to find a bounce today. Um, with that being said, I talked about this yesterday, that these type of selling events usually act for about 2 days, kind of a selling event. We'll see, maybe not super, not as big as what we saw yesterday, but there's generally some type of pullback. It's a 2 day event generally. And if we don't get the 2 a day event, normally it's just a chop day. That's generally what we see. I mean, that's really broadly speaking. But I would be watching for that to potentially maybe set up the floor for us in those two different manners. So watch for today to be maybe one more pullback. Maybe we get into this range I was talking about, 104, and then maybe it kind of bounces back, retest this 107 to 108 area, and then it sets us up for tomorrow to go to that 110. And potentially up to 115 area. So just keep an eye on it. We're getting to that point where you guys have seen it. I mean, you guys, technical charts where they start talking about a cup and handle. Well, it's always going to find a bounce, right? And then generally that bounce is faded. So keep an eye on that type of move on Nvidia. Now let's switch over to SPY. I think SPY, we talked about how yesterday when we opened, generally speaking, when we have some highs taken out and we see a gap down, specifically when we see a gap down like this, I said that, when we had this pop down and we open, I said, okay, watch for a continued selling event day. And we came down and we struck all our targets here. We had 558.60, we had 557 and 555. And I talked about options gamma, and how it gave us some insight, right? And I use it a lot. Well, we tried to use 555 as the floor yesterday, trying to virtually buy this secondary bounce here. Gave us a nice little reversal candle set. We came into this area. We had a consolidation. We tried to buy the call here, chasing the retest of 557. I thought we could get it plus, and maybe move into that 558 zone. We didn't do it. We got stopped out. It was a 60% loss for that particular contract based on where we bought it and based on the theta burn that we occurred over it, because it was about was about an hour or so, maybe a little over an hour before we had to make the judgment call to cut it, and that was virtually right here when we started getting an actual print of a candle downward. So sometimes you have to make those decisions, but you know, we thought, or I thought, that the risk versus reward for at least a scalp towards retesting 557 was worth it. But ultimately, we did get below 555, and when I warned everybody about getting below 555 on options gamma, that 550 would come quickly, and that's pretty much what happened. I mean, it was relatively fast. It pushed all the way down to 550. We use options gamma a lot to give us insight in where we need to start looking for our strategy, and we missed on it yesterday. So I was impressed that we did get to we did get that far down. I didn't think that we'd get that. You know, yesterday I bought some puts right here at some 557s, and I ultimately took some profits on them at this mark at 558, and then I trimmed all the way out right here, and then I got stopped out on my last ones and this push back up here for my runners. So if that was the case, man, holy crap, those contracts I bought for like $60. Um, but anyways, so today, I do think that, you know, based on this candle set here, we're retracing. We're not even over this level where we see the same type of candle set that we saw right here, right? This is generally a reversal candle set, but we dropped further overnight. And as we speak right here, I think that it's more likely that we maybe test this range, and then we probably get snubbed, and then we probably look to press into that 548 area back on taking this low here and potentially this gap fill, as these some of these targets here are available, but I find it more likely that we will probably come to this area down here and find a bounce. So watch for the swipe around 548.88 for some type of relative bounce, and then maybe it gets faded and we push back down to about 545. I would be shocked. I would be shocked if we just gave up 550 without a fight, because of the gamma here, right? 555 held. Look at the amount of action that happened here at 555 before it gave it up. 550 is even bigger, but once we get below 550, 540 is the next mark. So keep an eye on that. Options kind of giving us some insight, and we'll go from there. So my thing with Tesla here, I talked about this with one of our members here. He's a big Tesla fan. I talked about, you know, it's still bullish for me over 206. So I don't want to lose. If you're a Tesla fan, you don't want to lose this area right here. If you lose 206, it's probably likely that you have movement down to the 190s, okay, and potentially lower. You don't want to lose this. If you lose 206, virtually 200's definite, and then you're probably going and retesting these down here, which is going to look super bad. It could lead to a potential maybe revisit down back at 180s, retest this trend on the backside. So, what do I mean by that? What I mean is if we lose this area, we might reswipe 202 area, 200 area, and try to make that run up. But it does bring a very big chance of us maybe running back down and retesting the trend back in this area on. Whoop, let me extend this out, down on something like that, right? There's a possibility this starts to happen. I got all my option scalps, little emblems everywhere, but that is a possibility as well. Maybe we swipe 182, which is a weird low, you know, in regards to a swing low there. Um, so keeping an eye on this. This is a possibility, but over 206, I'm still bullish on Tesla to try to make that move back up towards that 230 area. But if it does lose this, keep an eye on it because it's going to show some weakness, and we will definitely get below that moving average on that 1 hour, and we'll see if that thing wants to press down into this range down here. So keep an eye on that. Tesla does have some really nice buyers in this range that we've seen in the past, even including some institutions. I'm going to use that word lightly with Kathy buying at 186 like it's nobody's business. So just keep an eye on it, all right? Because I do think that this has an opportunity to try to push. I think when it does push, I think there's going to be a lot of people fired up with some of the news events and everything that's coming up with Tesla, especially the robo taxi and all that, which I'm not huge on. A lot of people are super huge on that. I'm not huge on that. It's all about their robot for me. The taxis, I'm not huge on. People talk about that. It's it's still not huge for me. It's not huge for me at all. Um, I'm more concerned about their energy. I'm more interested about their energy. I'm more interested about their robot than I am a robot taxi. Okay, next thing. Let's take a look at Apple. Yesterday we got into this zone. I talked about, yesterday that Apple looked super toppy. And when we opened, I said if you get below, let me pull this up. I said if you get below 227, you need to be watching that for a short down to at least 225. And we did get below that, and that short came hot and heavy, and then it even pressed even further. And I was shocked. I mean, I was shocked that Apple gave that up so quickly because we spent so much time with the market dumping and Apple held. And we were under the assumption that people were hiding, some of the bigger institutions were maybe hiding their money in Apple, and they still may have been. We'll find out. But um, it was kind of shocking to me the resilience of Apple through this, and then it just virtually on nothing yesterday that we just kind of fell far from grace. So I think there's going to be, there's got to be something to be said about this. We have some daily 10 or daily 20s starting to come into play. You're going to see Apple's daily 20 is virtually at 221. This is a volume weighted moving average. So keep that in mind. If we lose this level around this 220 area, you need to be watching real closely for 215 to come on deck. I don't have options gamma available to me yet because it's not loaded just yet on the platform that we use. I'm looking to partner up with Gamma Edge and potentially have that data 24/7. I like their platform a little bit better than Black Box. Well, let's put it this way: I really like Black Box's Gamma thing, but I don't understand why they turn it off in overnight and don't allow us to use previous data. And so it just kind of gives us a warning instead of giving us previous data. It's kind of silly to me. So I'm open. I'm open for suggestions there. And hold on one second. It's kind of silly to me. So I don't have the chat available. So I'm sorry for that. I don't know why the chat's not popped up for me. So if you're chatting in there, I do apologize. Or if there isn't a chat, then that even makes more sense. It just says something went wrong here. This is this is what I'm seeing right here. Something went wrong. So I don't know. I've had multiple issues this morning. I tried to launch this initially on X, but I'm not getting it. So, anyways, watch the daily 20 here, okay, on Apple. Additionally, let's take a look at SPY real quick. And you're going to see that we have our daily 20 here at 547 essentially. It will probably rise up into this 548 area coming up when we open today. With that being the case, there's something to be said. Their 4 hour we already lost. So it'll be interesting to see that generally when this happens, it's almost destined that we go and retest up and then maybe make that move. So don't be surprised to see a jump in the market, even being bearish. So our range now, I've talked about this. We created such a large range here. Virtually our entire range starts from down here all the way with this break of yesterday, our range is this entire green box now in regards to any type of swing. If you're looking to play a stop loss or anything like that, so our range now is massive. And if you want to look at some type of retracement, then you're looking for. Excuse me, we're doing a retracement. Oh my god. A retracement brings us back down even at the 50 around 540. And if you start talking about institutional money, you start looking at 530, even 525. I'm under the impression if we do press down below this range and get back below that daily 20, that we'll likely retest this low back at 509, and I think that 490 could be tested. I don't think that we'll find a bounce out of 530 if we do get that type of sell off. Okay, I've talked about this in the past, and I really kept this, a bit of a close close to the chest type of deal here. You're going to see our swing meter here is not floored yet. So we do have a potential. We talk about a buy and a sell, right? Talking about the correlation. The pink is going to be your SPY. And we're going to see this thing look to press down into this range. We'll set an alert here. We'll set an alert here. Um, and we're looking for this thing to come down in this range before we bottom. So for me, we're not even close yet. We've got some more to press. I think that correlates with more so with us visiting into that. Oh my God. Um, More so correlates with us pressing down and retesting some of these ranges. Some of this 530, 531 area. That's what that correlates to me. So maybe the breakdown here is tested. That's 542 and 537. But does that come after a bounce? Potentially. Potentially it could. And so you got to be real cautious because what we did yesterday is we created a block, a bearish block for us, saying that virtually this is a bearish block, and that's a massive block for us to say anytime we return, say we return back here, that's going to be tough for it to break through, right? We talk about resistance and support, and that's kind of what we're looking at, right? So anytime you make that move, you can see, like, even for example, when we had, this is not exactly the same, but when we had this consolidation range and we broke through it, when you revisited this range, you could see the big sell that drew down on it, and it eventually came back up, sure, but it is a volatile range now for us to revisit into this 555 to 565 area. When you move in this, your legs could be pulled out from underneath you very quickly. So keep an eye on this. Like I said, we're sitting at 550 right now. We'll see if it wants to maybe recover a little bit more. For me, if it gets over that 551 area, then we need to be cognizant of this trying to make that potential run back up, getting back into this candle set, and maybe make that move towards that 555 range for a test. But like I said, generally speaking, when we see a sell down like this, it's a 2-day event. And so I think that 548.88 is definitely in danger today, and potentially even 545. I think both of those are in danger, and 540 for that matter. I mean, we already talked about it. The options magnet for gamma is 540. So I just don't know if we'd get that low today. I just don't. And I said the same thing yesterday. I didn't think we'd get down to 550, but I said it was a possibility under 555. And clearly, I didn't think we were going to get under 555 with the amount of chop that we got there yesterday. I thought maybe we'd make one more low here and try to make that run, and we did. And we had the opportunity to close virtually at a 10% loss here. and I decided not to do it because I thought that move was so strong, especially breaking through our moving average. We held it, and then ultimately it did get us. So it's part of trading. If you don't understand that, then you're not going to be a trader. That's plain and simple. You've got to play the numbers. It's a statistics game. It's run your strategy. If your strategy misses, your strategy misses. It's just a numbers game. So don't get beat up about it. But all right. So without really any way to engage with the audience today, I think this is a really good I think this is a really good starting point for everybody today. Kind of keep an eye on some of these levels. You guys saw all my levels. You saw my thoughts on it. And if you have any questions, visit us. Visit us on our Discord. That is going to be at discord.optionscalps.com. It will give you the ability to join us in there. You're going to find that we have all types of stuff for our free zone. We have we have our news bot right here that gives you breaking news. We do the economic calendar. Earnings every week are here. We do additional flow watch for things that catch our eye, that stand out. Our public chat, for anybody who's not interested in necessarily getting into any premium, service, but want to be able to discuss with, other traders. We have that available. And then, of course, we have our VIP library here where it's got, our technical analysis class, our chart patterns, resources, terminology, everything that you can possibly ask for. We have all our trading archives here. And additionally, we offer now a 2-day free trial on our monthly subscription. You don't need to. It's a zero cost. I mean, you come in, you set up a trial, come test it out for a couple days. If it's not for you, cancel it before, and there's no charge. That is available to you as well. We do all our call outs. Gandalf is in here just killing it. We have my call outs in here. We have all our plans that are on here. So you can see kind of what we're looking for and expect and know what to expect and know when what exactly we're looking for and the targets. Where some people don't actually offer the full analysis. They just tell you buy, sell here. We give you the full analysis, what we're looking for, knowing what to expect. So there's no surprises, there's no gimmicks. It's all there for you. Come check us out. Appreciate you guys, and until next time, catch you later.